Okay, excellent. So nice to meet everyone. Again, Tyler, to get a good intro of myself, I'm going to talk just a little bit about how my background's relevant, but this is something I'm really passionate about. I like to say this up front. There's no sales pitch on this talk. There's nothing I'm going to try. You sign up for these type of talks a lot of times online, and someone's going to sell you some online marketing or anything. Tyler and I have been directing venture school together. I'm really passionate about teaching people how to start tech companies and how to do startup. And so when we were talking about this last week, due to everything that's going on, my goal was to give this talk to teach anyone who's struggling with income or is generally not happy with their income and wants to make more money on the side. So this can be something that you can implement today, start working, build it on top of a current job, or hopefully possibly turn it into a full-time income. So a little bit about my background. I was not a tech person in college. I was not a marketing person. If anyone sold Cutco knives, I did that in college, and then I was an accounting major. I was not built to be an accounting major, so that's why I was in sales. Tyler talked about my successes, which is a moderate success because our market faded, but I had 2 failed tech ideas. I put a few screenshots over here, kind of on the right. You can see them layered down, like the quill top. I had an online t-shirt design company that didn't do well. Then we took the voting platform and built it into a contesting platform that at least paid our rent. And then when Groupon came along, we built a white label platform that literally went from nothing to having 900 people call us a month, raising $1 million in venture capital, and skyrocketing out of my living room. And then we raised venture money, and then the daily deal market kind of went flat. But I was able to sell that off to a media company. And then after that, started a marketing agency. It was really got down the route of what I'm going to teach you. The talk's really going to be about 7 years of me doing marketing and what I would do if I started today and how to do it quickly. But then I took a little bit of break. As my agency, I had about 400 clients over 3 years, 150 active. We merged it with another company. I took a year off, did home remodeling, so just needed something that was not using a computer. Then I did tech consulting, freelancing, helped Tyler do venture school, all again to fund my own SaaS platform called Agency Maestro, which I've spent the last 15 months, not only building my freelance business up to not have a job, but also to start my own startup. So freelancing is also a great way to fund your own startup while getting experience doing marketing. So I'm going to talk about 3 different types of freelancers. I have a small agency called Fluid Design Agency, and really we built it as my second agency, but we built this one not to be an agency like you envision with an office and where everyone goes and everyone works as an employee. We set it up to where it looks like an agency, but we're all freelancers, meaning each one of us has our own clients and we cross-utilize each other to do that. But the point of how we structured our agency isn't the point, but we have 3 different kinds of people who work at the agency. The nice lady here on the left is Beth. She's actually my cousin, and she is a teacher in Columbia, Missouri I can't remember what the name of, like Jeff City Community College or whatever it is out there. And she only does editing and writing because she's an English major, and so she teaches, or English teacher, teaches about 5 hours a month. And sometimes in the summer, she'll do 10 or 15 hours a month to make extra income for her husband and her kids. Jeff is a graphic designer, but also a marketer who I've worked with for about 1.5 years. He's got a full-time job working for a company in-house, but he also needs to make extra money because he has 2 kids and save for his house. So he works about 30 hours a month extra, anywhere from 5 to 10 hours a week, nights and weekends, loves it. And then me, of course, I built this into my full-time career. So I work anywhere from 30 to 50 hours a week. 50 is more now because there's nothing going on, so I work more, but I usually don't work Fridays. I try to take off the weekends. I sometimes blitz long days, but I control my path. I only take on jobs I want to do. I only work with clients I like. And over time, it's really helped me get a sense of how to build a business that I'm happy with. So that's enough about me and kind of the type of talk I've written here. But my goals is to start from the beginning, just like we do in venture school. I'm going to teach you how to start. I'm going to teach you how to learn new skills based on your interest. We're going to talk about where to get clients from. We're going to talk about what to charge for your services, and every different type of freelancer has a different range. Some are more skilled, so they pay more, and then some are less. And I'm going to talk about where to start and how to build that up. And then really also how to share your work and experience through online portfolios and through websites. So it's really designed to give you a foundation, give you some inertia to get going, so you can start down this path if you're interested in it. And if you make it into full-time one day, I found this icon. You can really live wherever you want and have freedom to work wherever you want within reason. But I have found it's hard when you're across the globe to work because you're on different schedules. But it's really nice when a client asks where you are and you're at the beach and you're not really on the beach, because freelancers is a fallacy that people who do online marketing don't work a lot. They work a ton if they build businesses. But Wi-Fi in your condo and then going to the beach on vacation, or just being able to pay for extra vacations or buy the things you want and not be stressed is really the goal with freelancing. And so I'm going to teach, those are the kind of the core foundations we're going to talk. And also what I recommend is really just pay attention during this talk. I have this whole talk written into a very detailed 3-page PDF, which has all the links that you're going to see in the talk. And we will send that out to everyone who is on the talk. So you don't need to rush to write down a website or rush down to see something I reference, because everything will be written out in Word form that I'll send out, or Tyler will send out after this talk. So step 1, outline with what you're good at. One of the hardest things about freelancing is, where do I start? Especially if you've never done marketing. If you're working at a company where you've done marketing, it's actually, you may know where you want to start, but most digital marketers love one aspect. I've learned a lot of different things, but I don't do them all. I take on clients where I do graphic and video design, but I can barely lay 2 images on top of each other and crop them in Photoshop. But I'll talk about how to be a good middleman. What I like to do is build things and solve puzzles. So I'm kind of number 3. And I've become number 4 by doing this for a long time. But writing and editing is one of the first things you can start with. 2, are you an analytical person, which may skew you to things like Google AdWords? If you love spreadsheets or your accounting, do you like to build things or solve puzzles, meaning improve, develop websites? Are you tech savvy? What's your foundation right now? If you've never built a website or even seen WordPress backend, I probably don't recommend selling a client a website, but taking courses on that and learning that is very important if you want to get into marketing or longer term. And lastly, are you creative? And, do you love art and design? And so, the one skill I'm going to talk about, design, is probably really does take quite a bit of time to learn how to be a graphic designer. It doesn't mean that you can't learn online, but it's not something you learn in a week. But what you can do is learn how to manage graphic designers and still get design work done for your clients. So these are a couple people that actually used to work with me in my agency in San Diego. So Matthew in the top right, he was more the analytical person, like spreadsheets, figuring out problems. He was a Google AdWords expert, but he only had a little bit of experience helping some small businesses doing freelancing. And I had him take some courses, which I'm going to recommend, that are inexpensive or free, got Google AdWords certified and became an expert. Colton came right out of college with us. So good example, he is very shy, introverted in that sense, meaning he was just very good at focus. He could sit there and just work on repetitive tasks and really just get things done. And he worked great to learn. He learned AdWords and build, very analytical tracking, reporting. And then Carlo in the bottom right was very social and a Oxford English, to the T what you'd expect of someone who's very good at writing. Oxford comma lover, and very social. And he was great about being creative and writing blogs and editing. And I taught him some SEO, but he, really specialized in SEO and writing. So there's an area of online. And then as you learn these skills over time, you can learn to project manage by hiring freelancers to do the work, and you become a good middleman. But there are some of these things you can learn in little as 4, 6, 8 hours. It doesn't mean you're going to become an expert, but you're going to learn enough to do a good enough job to work for a client. So with that being said, I love this quote by Mark Twain. I hybrided me because he only put school in there, but do not let school interfere with your education. I think one of the reasons, and probably the biggest reason why I've been successful over the last decade in tech and software, is I just constantly learn. I constantly listen to podcasts. Anytime I want to learn a subject, like when I learned to buy a rental property, I knew nothing about houses. I just listened to podcasts for a summer and learned how to work with a bank and get it financing with little money. Same thing I've done for SaaS. I listen to podcasts on SaaStr and SaaS Club IO all the time to learn about marketing a platform so that I don't make the same mistakes I did before. And then some of the other things I just learned by doing. But I'm going to give you links and courses to anything that I'm going to cover in today's talk that you want to learn. But it's a good habit to get into this. And even if you don't plan on making freelancing a full-time career, if you get into this habit, this is how you get promoted. This is how you become more skilled at work. This is how you become more valuable. This is how you double your income in professional life or in freelancing. So with learning, so digital marketing, I would have to say digital marketing is one of the few things that they teach very little of in college. A college degree does not matter. And they're great courses online that are very tactical. And I know at my agency, I didn't care where someone went to college. I mean, even if they had like digital marketing on their college degree, it was so minor and so basic. What I cared about was who certified them. Had they got Google AdWords certifications, digital marketer, like what have they done to learn themselves or to teach themselves, or what have they done at their job? And, Carlo and Matthew had been doing this stuff, but they've only had 1 or 2 years of experience. It's not like they had 10 years to get the job. But online, I listed a bunch of stuff. And this is a good example of, we're going to send the PDF out here. So, but the highlights, all these links are in that PDF and all these things are. So Udemy has a ton of free courses if you've never used that. If you just Google online courses like social media training, online writing, you can get e-business diplomas. Just don't pay too much. I mean, some things, if you look at the courses, are really well designed. You're going to pay something, 10, 20, 50 bucks for these, but you shouldn't be paying thousands of dollars, getting a certificate from Harvard for digital marketing for $5,000, because this is the stuff that matters. Some of the stuff is actually pretty technical. Salesforce, if someone's good at Salesforce, I mean, people make 60 to 150 grand a year just setting up Salesforce for people. And they provide free training to learn their platform all day long. So if you go, it's very technical, it takes some time, but if you learn and become an expert and certified on Salesforce, you can go make bank. I mean, it will be mostly a job, but you can also be a consultant. And if you like doing that stuff, setting up CRMs, complicated projects, maybe have an engineering mind, Salesforce is the way to go. But I love the fact that they provided all the training for free. LinkedIn Learning is also a great one. Used to be called Lynda. LinkedIn acquired them. Now it's called Lynda. You can pretty much learn anything about technical things online. They have 30-day free trial, then it's 20 bucks a month. And then specifically for digital marketing, if that's what you want to focus on, which I'm going to talk about, I love Digital Marketer Lab Plus. It is they have a 14-day free trial. They did it all free for March for people because of the shutdown, but it's 95 bucks a month after that. It's well worth it if you get into this full time to just keep paying for it because they maintain your certifications. But what I tell people is look at I only screenshotted 3, but I think they have 12 or 15 now. So they have copywriting, content, social media, paid marketing, Facebook ads, landing pages, funnels, everything else. It's at digitalmarketer.com Lab Plus. You can sign up for 14 days and just take the 1 or 2 certifications you can get done in 14 days. Now, if you're laid off or you're on an unemployment now and you're home, you have a big opportunity to spend 5, 6, 7 days just consuming this content. And then you could always cancel this, get your first clients, and then maybe pay for it later if you think you need to be refreshed. But you can pretty much learn anything you need to. Or if a client's like, can you do email marketing for me? Sure. Once you can pretty much say yes to everything and go find a course and learn it. You just want to be confident that you can execute on it. And having those certifications is, even if you don't want to build freelance, you can get into the agency world or get a better marketing job inside different companies with these certifications. So once you've figured out what you want to do, taken some courses, and if you're not really sure what you want to do, I definitely recommend Digital Marketer. Sign up for their site, take some of the courses, see which ones you kind of are drawn to, which ones sound fun, and then you'll be able to determine what you want to do. Once you've done that, the next step is to make a profile on some of the big freelancing sites. So Upwork is the biggest that I use. I have a profile on there as a freelancer, but I also use it to hire other freelancers for jobs, because like graphic design. If I can't do graphic design, I'm not going to say no to the work. If the client tells me what they want, I organize the work, and then I hire a designer on Upwork.com. I bill one rate and pay the other, and I make a spread by being a good middleman. Other sites, if you really think you're going to do writing and editing, freelancer.com, Contently, Scripted, there's tons of sites where you can post a profile. Companies are posting jobs every single day. I literally posted 2 jobs on Upwork in the last 4 days for people I need because I don't have time to do all the work. So when I get booked, the great thing about becoming a good freelancer is you scale yourself not by selling your own time, but by selling the work and then finding someone that can do it at a lower hourly rate so you can make a margin on that. So it's a great business. Is you can build, you can go from a freelancer to almost a full agency over time if you want, with no fixed cost, no rent, no bills except for your internet, cell phone, and computer. You make money through Upwork because clients pay you and then you pay them, and then it's all escrowed. And so you make a profit off that. But I would start with Upwork.com and then explore the other ones depending on what you want to do. But my goal again is just to get you started. But if you Google, best digital marketing freelance sites, best writing freelance sites, you'll be able to find a bunch more profiles and set those up. And I'll have links to those in the PDF we send out. So once you've developed your profile, I'm better at writing now, thank you to Grammarly too, for being online so it can actually proof for you. But sometimes I would write something that actually came out well, but I had a terrible time starting. I didn't know how to write the first sentence. I didn't know what I should say. So I always say research and borrow from others. Just like when you're doing software design, we tend to look at other competitors and do market research to determine what we are going to build and how it's going to look. So do the same thing with profiles, like looking at a resume and rebuilding your own. Research and borrow from others. Find a developer, find an SEO specialist, find copywriters on these sites, see what they have written. And what's cool about Upwork, it shows you not only their profile, it shows you their hourly rate, how much they've earned, how many jobs they've had, and how many hours they've worked. So like this guy has worked 15,000 hours. I don't know what that is in a year, but I think there's like 2,000 hours in a year if you work normal time. So he's been doing it for 6 or 7 years. But he's also, it says, when he sent me an email, he'd build up an agency. So he started building up more and more people, but he's earned quite a bit of income. And 500,000 isn't his like annual income. It's over the last 5 or 6 years. But I know he has probably also put people underneath him because he couldn't do all the work. And he has a 99% success rate. And that's what determines you getting other jobs and people hiring you, because social proof is what validates you, meaning someone else has paid you and been happy. And the more you build that up and add certifications and add jobs, it accelerates the percentage of jobs you land. So borrow from others and then keep improving yours. Now, this is my very text heavy slide, sorry, but once you've taken the courses and built your profile, even when you have jobs, don't stop learning. Once you've built all that, I'm just touching, the tip of the iceberg. But Google how to start a freelance business, the right way to start one, landing your client as a freelancer, landing your first clients, better ways to get clients. So you'll find all these tips out there. Be careful. Some want to probably put you into funnels for buying online marketing classes or how to set up business plans. I wouldn't get into all that. All these sites like Upwork and Freelance, they don't charge anything. They only charge you to take a percentage off work that you bill through them. So until you've gotten to the point where you really have found things that you like to do and you want to improve on them, there's so much learning. I mean, the courses that I recommended, you could easily spend less than $200 and get a full master's in online marketing for most of this stuff. So spend a little bit of money, but don't spend a lot, no matter what these sites say. But there's tons of free blogs, there's tons of free articles, and just keep learning, and Google is your best friend. Even me, I don't know everything about this. All I know how to do is be resourceful. And so when I don't know how to do something, like, oh, how do I do video editing? I was teaching myself how to do video editing last week, even though I've been doing just because I had time and I wanted to make a video and learn how to do the basics myself. Doesn't mean I'm going to try to become an expert and make really advanced videos like Slack has on their website or some of these better big SaaS companies. But to blend two clips together and make them flow and put a little title thing on it, I want to know how to do that, so I'm not paying for someone to do it, so I can whip it together. Now, once you've set that up, you built your profile, you've taken some classes, you feel like you're ready to start one thing. And I would really start with one or two services. Then ask your family and friends or your social network who has businesses. No one wants asking people to invest in you, asking people to give you, loans, especially in this time of the economy. No one wants to do that normally. And everyone is either scraping by or conserving cash. But find out who has businesses, especially if they were hurt by the economy or you already know that they run a business. And some businesses are still doing just fine because they're essential services. But ask them if they use someone for online marketing. If you know them well enough, find out what they're paying. Then say, hey, I'm building an online freelance business. Could I review their work? And if I can do better, I'll do it for 20 to 30% less. So you're basically working with your friends to have them pay you for something they're already paying for, and you're saving them money and hopefully doing a better job, because what you've learned in some of these courses has taught you that these many freelancers aren't that good. People become lazy, they become average, they learn one thing, so they're really good at one thing and they're terrible at another. Like I see websites all the time that look great but don't have SEO on them. It's that type of stuff. So you need to take the courses to know what is wrong. But if you take a digital marketing course on Google AdWords and then you go research or review their AdWords account and it looks like the person's doing a terrible job, that's a great time to offer to beat their price. And I say 20 to 30% less. As you become an expert, many times they'll give it to you at the same price or 5 or 10% off, so you can give them a little incentive. But if they're paying someone $500 a month doing a bad job, they would be happy to pay someone else $500 a month to do a good job. And that's how you work with family and friends in marketing. And then an advanced tip I put on here was have them pay you through Upwork. So Upwork takes, and don't quote me on this, they have it online, I think they take 20% of your first couple $1,000 and then it goes down to 10%, but they let you run your own direct clients, meaning if you don't, so eventually it becomes 10% if the client was sourced through them. So if you respond to a job posting, get the client off Upwork, you'll always pay 10%. But if you bring your own client to Upwork, you only pay 3.5%, basically a credit card fee. But if you hire friends hire you, run them through Upwork, because what that does is it allows Upwork to give you a review. It lets them track your earnings, and it lets you build up those stats on your profile before you can land jobs. I even found it was tough to land a job on Upwork when you had 0 jobs filled and no money earned. I got people that want to interview me, but as a freelancer, so it is better to get a few jobs through your network through Upwork. It doesn't mean you can't do it. If you go out and just undercut people, you'll get jobs. It's just a little more work. Then once you start getting really good stats, you will be able to land a higher percentage of jobs. Once you've got some jobs, once you got your first 5 clients, so we're building, we've started learning, you've gone on Upwork, you've asked your network, you have a few clients. Now build yourself, I usually say start with a portfolio. Upwork lets you upload your work so you can actually have a portfolio there. But as you grow, you want to have a portfolio that's outside of those sites in case you ever change or you just aren't using them as much. So clippings.me, I think, is a free portfolio for writers. So if you want to put your work, any articles you've written up there, I put in the lower left, this is my agency, Fluid Design. You can go to fluiddesignagency.com and see all this. I put the services up there, but then I have a page called projects, which I basically just screenshot work we've done and link to the website, put up some testimonials, put our freelancers up there. But start with a portfolio so you don't have to worry about building a website. Then you can build a website over time on either WordPress or Wix or Squarespace is great. Low cost sites to build it. But I recommend one of the, if you're going to build a site, don't build on GoDaddy, website builder tonight. Learn WordPress, Wix, or Squarespace. And I'm a fan of WordPress mainly because it's really, as you get to bigger clients that need more advanced stuff, WordPress is really a great choice to do everything. Once you learn how to do it for yourself, you'll be able to do it for other people. And these days you're buying templates, you're installing templates. You don't have to know design. You just got to figure out how it works. And there's courses on WordPress that you can take. Shopify I didn't include on here, but Shopify is another skill you can learn because a lot of people need help building Shopify sites. But this is for you. So start with, and you can always Google, free portfolio sites, where to put my portfolio, screenshots, descriptions, images. It's just credibility for your work. So number 9, start low and build your hourly rate. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think kind of the hourly rates are, but as you get more experience, you're going to be able to charge more, and you're also going to be charging, you can charge flat rates for services and make more per hour because that's kind of what the market rate is. You'll learn that as you go, like Google AdWords, you can charge $500 to $750 an hour as a base rate. And then if you get it done in 3 or 4 hours a month, or you spend more hours the first month to make it work, then it's a cash, profit center for you going forward. But don't, as you start with one skill that you become an expert at, and then the rest of the stuff, you can really be a middleman. So if you get really good at paid marketing, Google AdWords, Facebook ads, because that's what you want to study and you become an expert and get certified, then you can learn to build a website by having someone on Upwork that you hire overseas to build a website for you. I charge $4,000 for a website and I pay someone $350 to build it. And then I go put 10 hours into it to make sure the copywriting is done, make sure it looks correct. They're not writing all the copy for me and doing all the images. They're just setting up the framework. And then I end up making a few $1,000s on a website because I've become a good middleman. I've hired good freelancers, and I've built up a network. It's not like I'm getting 10 of those a month, but I get 1 or 2 every couple months, and they are extra added income because I've learned how to outsource. But the jobs that are copywriting and or editing, depending on how good you are and your background, $20 to $40 an hour, blog writing, $20 to $40. But blog writing is an example of one of the things that people like to pay flat rates for, $100 to $150 per blog. I think for one page single spaced, about 600 words is about accurate. But some sites, if you're really an industry expert, like if you knew engineering and you knew aerospace or something, you can get $250 a blog if it's very technical, meaning you need to be an expert to write it. Like if you're writing blogs in biotechnology, biosciences, you can get probably double that per blog post. Facebook ad marketing, $30 per hour, $300 per month. If you're doing flat rate, $300 per month is about what we used to charge. Google AdWords management, $50 an hour once you're good. But so you can easily get 25 to 30 to start. And then over time, I charge $750 per month on a flat rate based on the size of their budget. I used to charge $500 per month or 15% of their ad spend, meaning if they were spending $5,000 a month or less on Google AdWords, it'd be a flat rate of $750. But if they were spending $20,000 a month in AdWords, I would charge $1,500, and or 20,000, I'd charge 3,000 actually. So the bigger clients, I would charge less, and sometimes I'd negotiate my percentage down. But we'd have some AdWords clients who are making $2,000 or $3,000 a month, and the reason why is because they're a lot more work. You're not spending 30 minutes a week on them. You spend a few hours a week, and they have a lot more campaigns, and you got to make them work. But you scale into that. You just naturally become good at it because the fundamentals for a small AdWords account work for a big AdWords account. You just have to learn some additional skills. Video editing, 30 to 50 an hour. Graphic design, 30 to 45 an hour. And again, graphic design is a great one where you can charge a client $30 to $45 an hour and find a great graphic designer online for $10 an hour on Upwork, and you just make the spread by being a good project manager. So they tell you what they want, you hire the designer, they send you back the work. You don't just send it to the client, you look at it, you make sure it's good, and if you don't like it, you send it back to the designer for revisions, and then you give the client the final proof. And then that's how you get design work done. And the other thing you can use is if you're doing design work like flyers, print stuff, you can do that on canva.com. So you don't even need a designer these days. If a client gives you a logo and a style, you can go make nice flyers, nice graphics, half-page websites, banner ads, all that stuff can be done online with tools. So as our promise, trying to be at 25 minutes, is I'm wrapping up here with setting goals and build up. Start with something. The problem of not having goals, I put this quote in here, is you can spend your life running up and down the field and never score. Meaning, if you just keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you got. And if you take time, no matter how much time you have, if it's 4 hours a week, if it's 4 hours a month, build in time to learn a new skill. Set goals for yourself initially that have nothing to do with revenue and clients, like take one new course this week, take one new course this month. Keep learning, and I always say you'll be employed for life because you employ yourself, and then focus on, once you feel like, I would say 2 good weeks of learning, and some of you may dive into this stuff and be very, already have a foundation or be able to learn this quickly, take one new course. But I would say in 2 weeks, you can be confident enough to land, put your services on Upwork and freelances once you've taken 1 or 2 of these courses, and then you can start landing clients. But think of it, whether you charge a flat rate of $500 or you're doing 20 hours a month for a client at 25 bucks an hour, $500 a month. And of course, you can't work more than 40 hours a week. I mean, you may work 60 or 80 if you really work overtime, but you're capped on time. Then you hire other freelancers to do your work. But $500 a month, if you just got one $500 a month client in 12 months, you could have $6,000 a month in income. And for some of you, that would be life-changing. For some of you, it's less than what you make, but you could get 2 clients a month, or build it into an agency, or just have it be your savings and side money so you have extra income. But that's how I learn, teach people to freelance. That's how I teach my staff. I put my LinkedIn up here, so if you want to connect with me, that's the best place to do that. But I will open it up to questions. And Tyler, do you want to get off mute and let me know what you got?